Ready to start, mister?
I'm ready.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos al podcast de Los Pintores, en donde estaremos hablando de los desafíos que pasamos como una compañía hispana en la industria de la pintura. So we're gonna start here. All right, man. So, buenos días a todos. Nosotros somos Los Pintores. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Como ustedes saben, este podcast lo hicimos para comunicarnos y platicar con ustedes acerca de las necesidades de los pintores. Hoy tenemos a un invitado especial. Se llama Paulie. What's your last name, Paulie?
Morales.
Morales.
Simón.
Paulie Morales.
Simón, I like that answer. Look at that.
From
Y
Sedona,
dice que no habla español. Y para los que no conocen a Paulie, nosotros lo conocimos en Arizona. Tuvimos
una
presentación
en Phoenix, en la área de Phoenix. Y ahí fue donde conocimos a Paulie.
Y Paulie es de Sedona. Vamos a empezar. Este podcast lo vamos a hacer en inglés. Si tienen alguna pregunta, saben cómo nos pueden preguntar o alguna pregunta que algo que no entendieron, por favor nos pueden preguntar, pero para todos los demás esto va a ser en inglés. Gracias por estar con nosotros. So, hey, Paulie, thank you so much for being with us, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This is great.
Yeah. Thank you, Paulie. So, for whoever who doesn't know Paulie, we met him was it last year in Arizona?
Last November, I believe.
In
the Phoenix presentation from Sean Williams.
Yeah, with the PCA for Sherwin-Williams.
Yes. See, good thing I have him. He remembers. I have a Teflon memory, man. Everything slides.
We hope to see you in a few, in a couple of next week, I think.
Oh, that's right. You're going to the PCA, right?
Yeah, my wife and I will be there to represent, and it's your guys' fault that we're going. So,
man, I was let me throw a little bit in there of the PCA. Yesterday we had a game plan. Oh no, the day before we had a game plan discussion with Brandon Pierpont about the PCA. If you guys haven't listened to that, please go to his podcast on
Painting Marketing.
It's the Painting Marketing podcast. And so, and you guys can hear about what the PCA is, what they're doing. And so just to get a little more insight into that. So Paulie, are you going to the, what is it? The Paint It Forward event or not?
On Tuesday?
On Tuesday?
On Tuesday? Yeah, I think we're flying in on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that we make that.
Okay. Yeah. If not, I know that there's a couple events in the afternoon where we'll see you, and there's a lot of like beer and hanging out with people, which we had that discussion about how informative it is, but then afterwards it's just a lot of, just networking with some beers in front of you, which makes it that much better. All right. So let's start here. So I know we gave a little introduction, but we wanted to know where you originally from, Paulie?
So born and raised Arizona. My grandparents are immigrants. They're from Chihuahua. So they came back here in the 30s, and the family just pretty much stayed right in that area, northern Arizona, Flagstaff, Sedona.
Okay, so you have the descendants of our Mexican buddies there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfect. So you are located in Sedona?
Sedona, right?
Yep. Our office is located in Sedona, Arizona. If you haven't been there, it's super beautiful. That's where all the red rocks are. We just love it there. It's paradise.
Let me throw a little thing right there. For anybody that haven't been to Sedona, a couple years ago, we went to the expo, which it was in Phoenix. I was so upset after we came back. I seen some pictures from everybody going to Sedona, and I'm like, we are what, like, what is it, like an hour and a half maybe drive from Phoenix to Sedona? So these past November, I'm like, we have to drive. We have to go over there. So we had a rental vehicle. We took a drive over there. Beautiful. For anybody that haven't been in Sedona, I recommend that you guys got to go. You got to visit Sedona.
It's a beautiful place, man. I mean, we went out to the airport restaurant and God, it was the best meal I've ever had.
Yes, amazing.
So yeah, guys, go see Paulie. And I
Yeah, hit us
follow him
up.
too if you guys don't follow him, right? Because he does some very
And
cool stuff.
we're gonna add some of these links to Paulie's business account, website, and everything in case anybody has any questions for Paulie or for us, anything. We're gonna add a description. We're gonna add a link on after this we record
After the
this
podcast.
Mhm.
So,
So
Wonderful.
Paulie, let me ask you, how did you started how did you started out in the business, in the painting business?
Oh, yeah, 18 years old, out of high school. My buddy's dad had a paint company, and I didn't pay attention in school, and I actually needed a job. So
that happens to
I
us.
got into it, and I said, "This is kind of the only skill I have. I better make this work."
So what kind of painting you did when you were 18?
Commercial,
So we pretty
residential?
much did everything. We started out with a little bit of epoxy floors, but they would do a lot of new construction
Mm-hmm.
and interior, exterior repaints or interior, exterior painting on new construction. I learned right away I didn't really care for new construction so much. So we got into the repaints, and that's where I flourished.
Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. We have a weird combination of new construction and remodels. But I see that there's a lot more profit, I believe, in the repaints, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's night and day difference. If you can market yourself into that repaint market, which it's taken a while to do, but you'll find that you get paid right away. You're not waiting on money. You don't have to wait on other trades destroying your work and coming back and doing touch up after these trades. Once you're done with the job, you're done with the job.
Yeah.
And everyone in the neighborhood sees you, and now neighbors start to compete, and so they try to hire you as well if you're marketing yourself right.
See, you make their houses look beautiful, and then they get jealous, and they're like, "Oh, why is my neighbors not looking so beautiful? Like, I gotta call Paulie, right?"
Absolutely,
And Paulie,
absolutely.
for people that don't know the name of your business, what's the name of your business again?
So my name of the business is Canyon Painting, located
Okay.
in Sedona, Arizona.
Canyon Painting, and we're gonna add a link to it.
And you guys definitely got to check it out. He's got some cool stuff.
Exactly.
So as we talk about it here, this is all new to us. Like I said, we're painters at heart, so this is all new and a good challenge for us. This is doing to reach out to more people out there and see what we're about around the country. And we're all painters, but we have a very unique needs and set of skills wherever we are because of the demands of our area, right? Or demographics, right?
Demographics. Yeah.
So what do you think is the biggest challenge in your career right now? Like, what do you think is the biggest challenge for the business, or what is that challenge at the moment?
I think, especially with painting, I think right now with all of us, we can experience this. It's hiring employees, keeping those right employees, and then training the new employees with no education at all and getting them built up into the industry. Getting them to focus that this is not just a job. If you're a painter, it's not just a job. This is a career. This is something you need to be proud of. I mean, I really, truly believe that the paint industry is the next Silicon Valley. I do believe it's like Velveteen oil. It is going because we don't have a lot of people in our industry that are coming in like it was when I was 18, 19, getting started. Everyone was a painter. Now it's far and few between. So I definitely treat it as a career, and that's what I do with my people. We have simple IRAs for our people. We have vacation time, sick time, uniforms. We do everything we can, employee handbooks, things like that to make it more that they understand that this is actual career and not a job.
Man, I want to go work for you.
Yeah, come on over,
let's
man.
go.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, that's right.
But it's so true, and we keep hearing this, and it is true. It's our business, our industry has been seen as, it's like you end up painting. No, we want to be like, I want to go paint. And I guess us and like yourself and so many of other painters that we are trying to really bring out the greatness of this trade. Thanks to this trade, I mean, my family has a comfortable life, just like yourself, just like many others around the country, and the need it's just big. I mean, we need more professional painters. When I say professional, we want someone who's going to understand that this is a career. If you didn't make it, like a lot of us, myself, I was 16 years old when I started painting, and it wasn't by choice. It was a necessity, but I found that this this will be a career for me, and it has been.
Yeah, it's been a great career for me. I mean, I just recently resigned from the fire department because I was running as a full-time firefighter and running this business full-time with, 7 employees. And finally, I was just like, the fire industry is great, but you're following up with paperwork and more computer work. And I didn't sign up for that. And I'm telling my guys, hey, we're out in Sedona, out in beautiful areas, paying $1 million homes, best views in town.
Yes.
Our cell phones aren't constantly ringing. We're not doing a bunch of paperwork. We're enjoying life. We living that $1 million lifestyle, every day.
Enjoying what you're doing, yes.
And see, you kind of cut it into my other the other question,
Yeah.
It's like, so most important lesson you've learned in your business, what would that be?
I would, oh boy, is getting employees to where they need to be. But I would definitely say the other lesson is when work kind of got slow for a little bit, in the wintertime, it kind of, lays back during the holiday season. Sometimes I would bid jobs too cheap just to get them. And that was a hard lesson to learn because now all of a sudden those jobs that I bid cheap are coming back around. Well, the weather's popping, and now I got these big jobs in the way, but I've already committed to a small job that didn't really pay much. And to have that reputation, you need to get that small job done because it's just as important as this big job over here. But I tied myself up in too many places and didn't bring that money back into the company.
And I think a lot of us in this business do that. We're just so caught up into the mindset of, I just got to stay busy. And instead of taking the time to really look at things and say, okay, what's canyon painting? What do we do? Right. And you need to take that time to really focus and say, this is what we're going after, because it's only going to give you the time to go after the things you want. Otherwise, like you said, you're just busy and you're just chasing your tail, and so you own a job, not a business, correct?
Absolutely. So it's like what you were talking about with the PCA. When you went to that thing, you saw that there was businessmen there that had never painted before.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And here I am. And just like you guys, I have the mindset of a painter. I'm not a painter anymore. I have to tell myself that as much as I want to be.
Before.
But I have to put that business mind on. And now I have to start running it like a business. And if I'm not busy, that's okay. As long as I am getting the right jobs in, I'm focusing on the company and building it up. I take that time now, like you brought up, to use it for training. Let's get out of here. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, took the crew. We did some epoxy floor training off-site, away from the job, so they could focus on that. And we used our time valuable. So now we're creating more layers into our company that guys are educated, professional, and can actually make up that time in other jobs.
So basically that's something that, so what could you do better in your business? And I think that's kind of what you're already talking about, so what could you do better in your business, and what are your weaknesses right now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always feel like I can do better. No matter what I do, it's never going to be good enough. I challenge myself every day. I make new goals. It's like, no, don't take too long to celebrate over here because tomorrow's coming and it's a new day. So I definitely have to say in my business is what we were talking about in Phoenix, setting up some systems that would stay, and that if I'm not around, I know things are still getting done, right? I mean, that's the true meaning of a leadership. When you lead your people, if you're not there, it's still getting done to your standard. Well, if you're going to have that standard, you need to have systems in place. Where's your employee handbook? What do they do in this situation? Have you talked about it and trained about it beforehand to get that going? And so that's one thing that stuck with me when you guys said off-site training. Yeah, I'm pulling my guys off. Hey, calling Sherwin-Williams, calling Sedona Paint Center. Hey, where can I get these guys trained? If you can't find it, I'm going somewhere to get them trained. I don't care. It's going to happen. So that way, if I'm not around, I know everything's in system, everything's in place. They know exactly what to do.
God, and see, that's what we wanted to have this guy here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what we need to hear. This is what I needed to hear 5-6 years ago, just that you have that mentality, and that's awesome, because a lot of us can't even, like, at a certain point in a career, don't even have that. And it's amazing that you have that, because now it's just a moving forward.
Oh,
sorry to cut you off.
So,
the
mindset, yeah.
So that's awesome. So weaknesses, what do you think? Well, what do you think is your biggest weakness right now in your business?
Besides Girl Scout cookies, we all
I did
love
that for
those.
many years.
No, I would say it's me really stepping away. I tell guys sometimes I show up on the job and they already know what's doing, and I start getting too hands on. And they kind of give me that look, and I say, okay, I'll leave. I gotta go. This is their part of the profession. My professional part is over here estimating and scheduling. I need to trust my people to get it done. And so that is one of my weaknesses. Is I always have my boots on, ready to go, but that's not my business anymore. I need to step away from that, and it's hard for me to do that. It really is.
You said something very important. You got to trust your people. An old man told me one day years ago. He said, "You're gonna be just as good as you guys are. So if you guys are no good, you're no good because they're gonna represent you there at some point." And you have to trust your people. And sometimes we feel that if I don't do it, it's not gonna done right. It's gonna be done right. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have to realize that no, they're professionals, and
And,
it will get done right.
and you hit it earlier when you said, training handbook, employee handbook, once you start establishing systems, you can basically assure yourself that, even if you're not at the job site, even if you're not, for a day, for a week, you're not there, the standards are there.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's really good. What's your best advice for someone starting out, their new business? What would what would your advice be?
I would tell them first, get a proper letterhead, learn how to estimate, figure out what estimating system you're going to use before you dive in. Make sure you're licensed, bonded, and insured, of course. And then the time, everything will come into place. Don't be in a rush. Spend your money on lettering, spend your money on uniforms, spend that extra money that you're making, put it back into your business for the next 5 years. Yes, invest back in your business. Because you know how many people tell me, I'm like, hey, how'd you hear about us? Your trucks are all over town, or I see your cargo trailers all over town. The only way they know that is because it's all lettered up. Your guys are in uniform, so I saw them at the grocery store. Those are all important things because you got to get your name out there. You've got to get people to know who you are. What's your brand? What's your logo like? Take time to do that. It took about a month to get our logo set up just the way we wanted it because that was important. And now everyone knows and sees it. So I would say that just take your time, establish a game plan, write down some goals. And then also, you probably work for a couple other paint companies. Take the good things that you like from those paint companies and apply them. Take the bad things you didn't like and make sure you don't do those.
Exactly.
I like that idea. That is very true. I mean, you want to learn both. You want to learn the good and the bad.
The do's and the don'ts.
Exactly. You want to know what you can do and what you don't want to do. And kind of goes to us. We worked for 2 contractors in the past. One that we learned what not to do, and one that we learned what to do, which is amazing. So it was great.
We learned to improvise, and we learned the right way to do things and to take pride in our work.
It might have taken many, many years to get to that point, but
we learned the do's and don'ts.
So, and I think we covered already this, what would you, let's say right now sitting here, what would be something different you would have done when you started knowing what you know now?
If you were to start your business again.
Yeah, I know you're talking about everything. We kind of
covered
it already.
I would have immediately put down the brush. I really would. I wouldn't have got on my whites. I would have put on my polo shirt and I would have put down my brush and I would invest all my time into the business and growing the business and learning the business and hiring and training. And that would have been my focus. I would be so much farther right now in my career as a painter or a business owner if I would have done that. Because the first 5 years, I'm busy. I'm covered in paint. I'm working Saturdays. I'm hustling, and guess what? It was getting me nowhere but tired. It really was. It was.
I think you answered the question. I was going to ask you, how long did it take you to put down the brush? Since you started the business until you realized I had to put the brush down.
Is that about 5 years?
I think it was about 5 years when I was officially done with the brush and just learning to sit in my office and do the work, putting systems into place and doing that.
And let me kind of elaborate a little bit on that because we got the opportunity to travel to different states and see different companies and hear different things. And when we come and talk to them about how we do things now, a lot of them, they're like, well, because you're at a different level. So when someone listens to you saying, I would have just immediately gone to paint, to do the business side and not paint, I will hear a lot of people in the room be like, well, yeah, that's not easy. I can't do that. I don't have those skills. So then so then do you prepare to start your business? Not like we've done, we just dove in, and it's like when you learn how to swim, they just threw us in the pool and like, get out, baby. I mean, get out,
Oh yeah,
however
two
you
guys.
out.
You jumped in, two guys in a brush, just like the rest of us, and we were going to
Exactly.
show up and we were going to take over the world. And it was only two of us. We weren't going to get it done.
Hey man, let me tell you, it took you 5 years. It took me probably 12. So yeah, it's
I share your mentality. At the beginning, it was really hard for me to put down the brush, right? And that's something that we always talk about, how he had those ideas and I was the one like, no, but nobody's gonna do it better than me. Nobody can do it better than me, and that was the hardest part, like to, so for some people, like at the last presentation in Phoenix, I was very happy to see the new painters, new business owners, and I'm like, I was so happy to see them over there. I'm like, you guys are in front of everybody because you are putting down the brush. Okay, it took us, how long?
A very long time.
How many years? So,
and I think more than anything, we have so much technology. We have so much at our hands nowadays that it's easier. When I first went in business in 2006, 2007, I mean, we probably had we probably had Facebook, but it was nothing like it is now.
He had MySpace.
I had MySpace. Yeah. It's only for the girls, Oh, sorry, babe. I have to clarify with my wife, but
don't Juan.
No, but we have so much, and right now, we relate a lot to the PCA because our business have grown a lot because of the PCA, because of the networking, because of all the resources we've gotten from them. And that's what we want to show and expose a lot of more people, saying, look, there are so many things out there. We just got to go find them. Sometimes we're like, okay, what will be the best paint? Okay, cool. It's good. But what will be the best result if you do this? What will be, what if I do this? What more implementing in the business and not what the paint is going to look like, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was Nick from the PCA, and then he was talking about change your percentages on your paint jobs one day. And I'm just getting started. I just kind of stumbled onto the PCA, and I heard you guys on there, and I was like, man, I can really relate to your guys' story. But Nick started talking about how, you got to bid at this percentage, and I'm thinking, this guy's crazy. I'm not going to get a job. I mean, that kind of money does not exist in this industry. No, we talked about the guys, when they're first starting, say, okay, you got to put down the brushes. No way. You got to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset. And you got to, when you hear that stuff, you got to think, these guys are doing it and I need to apply it. You're your biggest barrier. It really
exactly.
are. You're your biggest barrier.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Exactly.
We have this conversation here. So being a partnership, I've gone discouraged in the beginning when we were gonna partner up, and it was like, partnership doesn't work. How are you guys gonna do it? And it has its challenges. But one of the things that we have here is that he's more aggressive when it comes to selling, and he's like, no, this is what we need to get. I am more soft into like, oh, what if, oh, I want to be cheaper, I want to be nice. But I've learned that it's not about being nice. I think for me, it was that I didn't feel that I was giving, or no, more than I wasn't really giving enough value for what I was charging. So now that we have implemented so many different things in our business, now I feel that we give all the value. So, hey, this is what it costs us to be in business. So this is our value. And if you don't value us, we don't want to do business with you. But you got to create that value too, because you cannot expect to just say, oh, this is how much I want to make. Well, yeah, but what are you bringing to the table, right?
And,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
One thing, yeah, and so one thing that you mentioned earlier, Nick, I'm sure you're talking about Nick Slavic, right?
Yes.
So that's one thing that we learned at PCA, and we're gonna go back again to PCA. Nick Slavic, and I was telling Juan, Tom River. I'm like, Tom River, basically, it's telling us you have to value your work, you have to value your time. And the one thing, I always go with Juan is like, we have to believe in our product, because I believe in my product. And I'm like, if we believe in our product, we know what we're giving to our client. It's quality. And it's like, And that's all it is. Our product overall, it's worth it. If you might think it's expensive, it's worth it, because if you look around, some other companies around might not give the same quality, the same service. So like we have to value that. We owe it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
perfect.
absolutely. Customer
Yeah.
service is everything. We pride ourselves on that so much. I don't take a deposit for a job. I refuse to take a deposit for a job because I know we're going to execute and we're going to get it done right. And I tell a customer or a client, I should say, every time, hey, I'm going to walk it, or one of my main guys is going to walk it with you. And we want to make sure that you're happy. That's our goal. Our goal is not to get paid. Our goal is to actually make you happy. If we do that, everything else is going to fall into place.
Tell them what I always say, like, I don't want my clients to like their paint job.
I want you to love it.
I want you to love it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to like it. I want you to love
you're
it.
gonna be bragging about us, and it's like, that's, I'm like, I don't want you to be happy. I want you to love the product, the job,
Yeah.
the experience.
So basically what we were talking about last time, it was so what do you think is the one we lost our sorry, we're
Questions right here.
lost our questions here, buddy. Oh, they're up here. Okay. So what new technique or skills have you learned or are you learning this year?
So this year we're excited. We were talking, I'm going to bring my brother Angel aboard,
Nice.
hopefully in March, maybe April. But we're going to start doing the metallic epoxy floors, and we're going to really focus on this. We've already had a couple clients ask for us to do epoxy floors inside their actual homes.
Okay.
And
so inside now the actual home.
Oh yeah, we just actually did one, a whole metallic inside the house. Epoxy floor inside their house. It's beautiful views in Sedona. They wanted the red and the orange, and we did all that inside their whole entire house. And so we're really trying to capitalize on that.
So are you you feel that that's going to be a something big coming up onto your business?
Like a special niche that you can take on?
Yes. As soon as we started, really, before we were just doing a few garages here and there, no big deal. But now that we're starting to develop, like, hey, I'm going to get Angel involved, I have to walk away because I don't have time for that because I'm focusing over here. So I got to trust him. He's going to do it, and we'll get him educated up there to do it. But yeah, I mean, we just did another resort today. The guys are actually putting the final coat of epoxy floor at this resort. You know what happens? Boom. That resort manager talks to another resort manager. Hey, I need you to come over and look at our place. So now it's just starting to snowball again. And now, it's a whole nother division.
Now for this, you mentioned earlier, you took your crew to a training, right? Am I correct?
Yes. We took them to a training offsite for all day, and then in March we're doing we're going offsite again out of town to do a 2-day training.
And this is something that we always talk about. When we do our presentation, we talk to other painting contractors. Like, try to get into these niches, right? And train your guys, train your crew, train your your team. The more prepared they are, the better service you're gonna offer, and the client is gonna feel a lot better. And of course, you're gonna eventually, I'm sure you're gonna be the one that is gonna be doing all of those jobs in the area.
So is there a lot of competition for that in the area?
I mean, there's a couple of guys, but it's 1 or 2 guys, and they're doing it by themselves. They're not marketing it much. It's more of a word of mouth, and they're we're going all in. He'll have his own setup, his own grinder, own vacuums, his own system to pursue this and make it happen. So I'm excited about it, and I really, Juan, Jose, you guys are the ones that were talking about that in Phoenix, getting off site to do training, and that clicked in my head because I've tried to do training on job sites, and I'm going to tell you, I lost control. I was irritated and frustrated because we're on a job site. We're supposed to be making money. We're not supposed to be taking time to do training, and I tried that, and it just went out the window. So I appreciate you guys sharing that little nugget with me because it does work. It got my crew excited. We talked about being that professional in career. So now they're just like, hey, man, texting me that night. Thanks so much. I want to go to the next one. Yes. And hey, I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about that. And how do we apply this? And how do we apply that? And I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. I wanted that spark. I wanted that fire in them.
I'm getting chills right now. I'm getting chills right now. I'm getting chills right now.
Why are we talking? Let's go.
And it's not the weather.
Oh,
but that's one thing that we talk about. Invest in our business. Okay, invest in our business, and yes, get our crew involved.
So let me ask you. So what's the shift? Have you seen any shift by doing that with your guys?
Yes, it's right now it's just like the mentality, the mental day in and day out.
Mhm.
They're actually starting to get pride in things like
Okay,
that. I
yeah,
mean, they were prideful, they were painters, but
yeah,
they're looking at themselves differently now when they see themselves, you know. And now they're thinking, yeah, I have a career here, and it's actually affected my youngest son Tate. You know, he's 7. I worked at the firehouse. He didn't say he wanted to be a firefighter. He said, when I grow up, I want to be a canyon painter. That's my dream job. And so
nice.
so now it's having a bigger effect on my family and everyone else, and it just keeps snowballing.
I like
Setting the
that. You know,
standards.
setting the standards,
Yeah.
now that is I can say that that's being a badass right now,
Yeah.
right? But that's what it takes, and I think it's getting your crew involved. It just speaks volume because you can be energetic and you be positive of everything, but if your crew doesn't believe that, it's very hard, but when they believe that, we've seen that shift in our company. Our guys are prideful. Our guys,
We get them exposed to some of these trainings, and
they love it.
you can tell the results. They
you
can't
know
stop
Oh,
talking about it,
they
bragging about it.
yes, they're
Yeah.
talking about other painters now. Other painters are reaching out to us. I'm like, they're actually telling us like, man, like, I saw what you do, and it's like, man, I wish I can do something like that someday. And we're like, yes, you can. But that's amazing, man. It's good to hear because we're painters at heart, and we keep saying that we're painters, and we grew up as painters, but now it's the challenge to evolve. And that's what we're doing. And that's great because I feel that as a person, as a business, if you stop evolving, you're dead. It's just
oh,
that easy.
if you don't stay ahead of your competition, yeah, you're right. They're going to consume you, and you'll be behind the
Exactly.
8 ball all of a sudden. It's always keep humble and stay hungry, man. You
Yes,
have to,
sir.
even
Exactly.
though
I like that.
you start
Love
to
that.
feel a little bit too prideful. You just sit back and wait. Oh, I remember when I was starving as a painter,
Yes,
and
sir.
I got $5 in my pocket. I paid all my bills, and I still got to feed my family for 2 weeks.
Oh
And
We
God.
we
Let me
always
tell you.
say short memory, like whatever you did yesterday, whatever you achieved yesterday stays in the past, keep looking
Yeah,
forward.
keep moving
Keep
forward,
moving forward.
and then that's what's kept us going. So I mean, shift here a little bit. So who do you think is so most influential person you've met in your business, and why?
Well, I'd say there's two. I'd give a shout out to Bailey Chavez at Colwell Realty Northland.
Okay.
She started the Instagrams. I saw what she was doing, and it really was like, wow, I'm excited. I want to be like this because her
Mhm.
Instagrams are great. And then I see Jose over there just pounding away on the Instagrams, and I'm going, wow. And so when I heard you two on PCA, you guys had a big effect. And I was excited to meet you down in Phoenix because I was like, these guys are just like me. They're just regular guys that are
Thank
that are
you.
doing what I want to do. And I went through the same struggles. Like I was having those same problems that you guys were facing. And
Yeah.
you're thinking, I'm doing everything right. So Illusions Painting, you guys, I still follow you. I still look at your guys' videos.
No,
It
I
gets me
see that.
excited. I share it with my crew. So yeah, you guys definitely had a big impact on my painting career.
Uh-huh. Well, thanks,
Thank you.
man. I mean,
Thank you.
shoot,
It's
I
an
feel good
honor.
now.
No,
Thank you,
but
thank you.
again,
I'll send you your
so
nice little jacket, man. Thank you.
so
We didn't talk about this before, but thank you.
question for you, Paulie. So did you hear one of our presentations at one of the expos before? I believe that was Phoenix.
Yeah, I didn't hear the one in Phoenix. I thought it was a PCA podcast that was on there.
Oh, okay.
Or you
That
was
was
were
with
yeah.
Brandon
Peer
That
Pierpont.
was a
yeah.
while back though. It
Oh, okay,
wasn't
okay.
That was
wasn't
that was
recent.
the
So
first one we did, and
About a year ago. Yeah,
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 exactly a year
it
ago.
was about a year ago, and in that year we started to make this big transition into our company, and
I know
and we
because
were seeing results.
I remember when we met in Phoenix, you were talking how like I know you guys, and I'm like
how?
hey, sometimes we get like, hey, I know you guys, I follow you guys, and I'm like, you know what? That's how I feel sometimes, like when I follow you and I follow some other accounts, and I'm like, you know what? I know, and like I can't wait to meet him in person. So it was a very very nice pleasure, meeting you in over
Oh
there at
yeah,
the
I was
presentation.
excited. My wife was kept saying, "Hey, let's get out of here," and I was, "No, no, I'm waiting
I
for
want to listen
the
to
big dessert here. I got to hear what these guys have to say."
God,
Yeah.
man, that's like that is amazing when you hear this, because like I said, a couple years ago, 4 years ago, when we first went to the PCA, like, and we mentioned again the PCA because we were just two painters. I can't say kids because we ain't
Yeah,
kids no
we're
more.
not kids no more.
That can't apply, but we're just two painters, and in these Z of like in this sea of like big,
Big
sharks and
sharks right there.
with little
Right.
fish, and we're like, what are we doing here? But it just something click. It's our need, I guess. It's our hunger. We're seeking. What is it going to be? And so to be here this day, we've been able to do a couple podcasts with different guys who've, to us, they're like legends, and we're like, we want to learn from them. So we're not at no place to be like, oh no, we know everything. No, we don't know nothing. We're just like everyone else. We're learning. We are preparing ourselves
Like you
to
say,
do
we're
something better.
like you said before, we're humble and stay hungry.
And that takes me to my
Oh,
next question for you. Um, keep learning. A lot of us, I think, in the painting business are like, well, I know how to paint. What else can I learn? Okay. When we first went to the PCA, we've learned about books. I've never read a book. I still haven't read a
I
book,
never read a
but
book.
I listen to books now.
We started listening to books.
So how about
yeah.
you? Do you have a favorite book? Do you read books, or do you have a content that you read that really has stood out for you or that you can recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, because I do a lot of time in my truck because I'm going from job to job. So I do now
Right?
start to listen to books.
Oh, yeah.
David Goggins was a big one that I really
David
loved listening to.
Goggins.
You Can't Hurt Me. Can't
Huh,
Hurt
I
Me.
never,
That was
I can't
intense.
hear that one.
That's
I guess.
intense. And then Urban Meyer had a book out there, but the one that really stands out in my mind, the one I actually read, was Dale Carnegie's How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And I'm going to tell you, I really like that book, and I'd read it again just because there's a lot of things I'd worry about as a business owner or as a painter, and there's nothing I can do. These jobs would grow big in my head, and before I could even get there, and I'd get stressed out about it, and there was no reason to at all. And I also learned that there's like when you're gonna have a meeting, what's the purpose of this meeting? Because if I start having a meeting or just to have a meeting, it turns into a complaint fest and guys are complaining and it just brings negativity. But if I have a meeting and I already know what the purpose is and I set out that goal of that meeting, like, today's purpose of this meeting is this, and this is what we're going to get done 5 or 10 minutes. Boom. Issue solved. Everyone's happy and we move forward. And so that stop worrying and start living really had a big impact on my life because one, I could be efficient, but two, I don't really get that anxiety anymore about painting or the business side of it anymore. I learned to enjoy it, learn to enjoy what I can control and what I can't control.
Yeah, see, and I believe that's so big because, like I said, it just sets you in a different level. As you being the painter, you're showing up, but not really not opening your mind to other things, because when you listen to a book, I mean, we're not unique. We're not the only person that's going through it. This already happened to someone else, right? And so when we
Oh yeah.
listen to the results and how they deal with it, you're like, oh, is that what they did? So it just clicks in our mind. And so when we talk about other content, um, a lot lately, like I wasn't really big into podcast until we kind of decided to do one. So I get like, okay, so I'm listening to podcasts every day. So I haven't really listened to a book in a few weeks now because
I've been off and on.
I just listen to podcasts. And you know what I like about the podcast is that there is just so many of them. I mean, you can laugh your, ass off of one,
But
or
so
you
much
can just be so
information.
interested and so educational on others. So sometimes you may have a problem. And I don't know if you have, I mean, do you ever go into the overdrive on PCA or PCA
So
overdrive?
yes, I've been checking that out lately, and that's exciting because I need new ideas to learn how to train my guys in different ways. And
Mm-hmm.
and actually, I've learned a lot going into overdrive, 100%.
It's got to tell you because and we've been fortunate to start being part of that too, and it's so amazing because for us too, now in our website we have a link for our guys for all our trainings that we do. It's recorded, so now let's say they forgot about something we touched about, well, just go onto our website.
Well, they want
you
to
know
refresh their mind and they can
exactly,
always go, they have access to go and
see the video, see it again. I mean, like I tell the guys, you have your phone at all times, so just go in there, spend some time. And what's great is now Oliver can see who went onto our website, who checked out the
Oh
videos.
yeah.
And what's great, because now we see who's interested. So now we can see who is willing to,
We have
who
a
is
record,
hungry.
basically, yeah.
So that's awesome. And it's just so little things that we don't see, you know, that we don't pay attention sometimes because we're so busy painting. So,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
100%. Because you get so busy painting, you can't focus on anything else, and you're in that daily grind. But yeah, when you get to see those videos and those trainings and build up your guys, and I tell my guys this all the time. I say, I don't care how long you've been here. I don't give raises on how long you've been here. I give raises on, just like you said, how I can see these guys
Performance.
coming in and doing the training and advancing, and I may see something in someone and say, hey, look, I got 3 or 4 guys right now. You guys are going to be the future. You guys are
yeah.
young, you're inexperienced, but you're learning fast. You're asking the right questions, and you're doing everything I like. So you guys just keep doing this up, and everything else is just going to come to you.
Man, Paulie, I think we definitely gotta have a second one with you, because I'm just thinking so many other questions, but I want to stick to our program. Otherwise, we get in trouble. But man, we gotta keep talking about this. I think we're gonna have a second one
So
here.
we'll add a link to the book too.
Oh yeah,
because we always like to recommend, like what works for anybody, right? That we know, that we meet. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie.
see, there you go.
We'll put a link on it. So for anybody that wants to listen to the book, or buy it, read it, I'll listen into it.
Yeah,
You probably will
definitely. I would definitely
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah.
So,
So, Paulie, what are your ambitions for this year?
So this year, I've set some financial markers I'd like to meet,
Mhm.
and then also I'm really trying right now to get these guys to take on more of a leadership role. I really want to see the individuals take that ownership. As long as with professionalism comes that ownership, and that is my goal, is to get my people to see that they start to have that ownership in their jobs. And I think you guys were talking about it. Your guys would take pictures of jobs and they would send them to you, and you
yes.
put it on Instagram. I have got everyone phones. Everyone's got a phone now.
Okay.
I was like, I'll buy the phones. I'll pay for it every month, but I want to see your guys' pictures. I want to see you guys start to
Ah.
take ownership, and they
Create a
start to take
little,
ownership of that. Yeah,
create a little healthy competition in
How
between them.
how's that working? So have you started that?
yeah. And some guys can take some really good pictures, and some guys, I think I need to do a class on how to take a picture with the smartphone, because it's amazing.
He needs a glass.
I
I was telling him, it's so simple. Get your phone, set your camera at this angle,
I'm
and
horrible.
just take a picture or take a little video and send it in.
I guess I'm the one with the ideas. That's all I can think of. I guess, right? You got to know what you're good at. That's it, and what you're not good at.
Yeah, absolutely. There you
I
go.
guess picture taking is not my forte,
No,
right?
forte, yeah. But
Okay.
it helps a lot with our guys.
But see, I don't know, man. For us, this is really great, because believe it or not, like for us to hear that you guys kind of implementing something, we're just giving back everything that we've learned. Same thing that you're talking about. We've had the same conversation at how we went to a some kind of class, we went to an event, and we came back and we're like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. And it's just one little nugget, like you said, one little nugget. You're just changing that, then you become, and then you meet someone else. You're gonna go to the PCA now. You're gonna run into a lot of other guys, and you're gonna be like, God, I had an idea, but now that idea is gonna it's gonna change
Like I know
completely.
it worked for him and it can work for me.
So that's what's
Yeah,
gonna happen for you. And no, we're so happy, man. I think we're gonna be talking about this couple years from now, and you're gonna be rocking it, man. I just have no doubt in my mind. You have, I guess a lot of people gotta understand, mindset is bigger than than anything else. Is
absolutely.
if you can see it in your mind, and if you can picture it, you can
And you
accomplish it.
can do it.
Oh yeah,
If
and
you
it comes into you, and I start to talk, and my wife used to, she used to, whatever, this guy's talking, and then when she starts seeing it all happen, now sometimes I start talking, she starts to get worried, because she's like, oh no, this is going to happen, oh no.
I
So it
think we
will
should
take
do a
you.
podcast for our wives at some point, because it's the same problem at home. I
Oh
come home
boy.
and she's like, okay, what kind of crazy idea do you have now? Right?
Exactly. And
Oh
that's
God.
half the fun. That's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we work for ourselves, because we want to be
Nice.
creative. If you're in that business role, or you work for a company, they don't want you to be creative. You stay at the bottom. The guys that go to the top are the guys who follow the exact instructions. The people that are creative stay at the bottom, and they're frustrated because they just have a lot to give. And
Yes.
it can, when you start to see that, it really takes you places.
Now, I think the creative part is very important. You just have to have the right systems in place to carry that through. And
Absolutely.
I just recently took a little trip that I needed for a couple. I took off a week. I took a week off, and in the past, I will be off, but then my mind is like, I'm getting a phone call. I'm having to deal with something back at home, and you can't not enjoy yourself or do what you need to do. And I keep bragging
He had to pay an extra luggage just to take all his work
my work and my
worries.
stuff, right? But I took this trip and I really did it on purpose. And believe it or not, it was such a reward to feel that, I mean, it's not that you were needed, but things were running. Things were just keeping its course without having me to be there. And that was amazing. That to me was like all this hard work. I'm like, God, I this feels good. And I know it was just a week, but the feeling, the reward, it was amazing. So
Oh, it's nothing like it. And that's where that leadership comes in, because you guys are
yes,
setting the tone for your people and you put those systems in place. So now they're successful. And that's the beauty of it. That's one thing we're trying to work on right now is I'm using Invoice to Go for estimating and billing,
nice.
but I'm trying to find a new estimating system so that if I'm out of the picture for 2 or 3 weeks, the jobs are still getting bid. The jobs are
Yes,
still getting estimated. The scheduling is still
yes,
going into place. I just got to be that coach that calls that play every once in a while. Let the athletes, let the team, the professionals do what they do best.
yes,
Exactly.
sir. And those are the systems that I guess we gotta touch up in the next one, but this will be good. Um, so what do you think are the biggest changes in the industry since you started? Like, what do you see now that from when you started 5, 6 years ago?
Well, one of it is product. I mean, we started to see product like oil is almost going to be non-existent.
Okay, yeah.
That's just a thing of the past. But the other is just the amount of people that are really coming into the industry, and the people getting in the construction trade in general. We're seeing such a fall behind in that industry that it's going to have bigger demand because there's not a lot of competition out there anymore. It is going away. And so that is the biggest change, because everyone out of high school, like you guys, we all just got in construction. We all got into painting or something. And now it's not like that. It's completely
Mhm.
different.
It is very true. I was listening to I listen to Nick. He's all the time on doing videos like this. And one of the things they were talking about is we keep hearing about this recession and recession. I don't know whether we have one, we're gonna have one, we don't know, right? So we can be worried about that. But one thing that stood out for me was like, look, what's it called? Chuck in the truck,
Chuck in the truck.
right?
Jason
So
Curtis.
it's like those guys are the ones. If we have a recession, if we have a slow, those are the guys who will disappear or won't be busy because they
We'll
just live
suffer.
job to job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when you professionalize your
Professionalize the business.
business, when you create systems into your business, that's how you survive. Because there's always going to be a demand for paint. It might be lowered, but if you have a system that will repeat itself, that's what's going to carry you through. Yeah, we may suffer a little bit, but it will carry you through because you established a business. And so that understanding that, I think it's amazing because now you are working on your business completely different than just going after your next job.
Oh yeah. I almost expect the next phone calls to come in. I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm more
Yes.
worried about this other area. And you talk about recession, but my theory is, so what? It's my mindset. It's my mindset. If I worry about a recession, then I'm going to get caught up in that problem with the recession.
Yes.
But if I just worry like, hey, what can I do for the future of the company? Keep growing the company,
To
keep
prepare.
moving forward, making those smart decisions. Oh yeah, we were in a recession, but I didn't really notice because we were still working. We were still
Exactly.
busy. We were still executing and doing what we had to do. And we got creative when times got slow. That's all. We just had to get a little bit more creative. And that's half the fun. I mean, let's be honest. That's half the
Yeah,
fun
it
of it.
is.
Yep.
Well, I like it. I like that when if you start being creative, if you get comfortable. I always tell this guy, when I'm comfortable, if I'm in a comfort zone, I believe it's the
Boring.
worst. It's the worst zone for me,
Mhm.
because then you lose your edge, you know.
Oh yeah.
And you need to be creative. We're painters. We like that creative part. I keep saying that.
We
Dang
like,
it.
we like the challenge.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
Paulie, this has been amazing, man. I really admired, what you have and how you're setting up your business, because I do see that in a couple years, we were in that position, but for us it took us a lot longer. But I can see how you mental, how your mentality is where it needs to be. So now it's just implementing and listening and getting a little something from everyone. And probably some people need a coach, some people just need someone to give them a little push. Sometimes we just need to hear it from someone and be like, wow, like if he can do it, I can do it, right? Or if they did
Absolutely.
it that way, I can do it. So for us, it's been a pleasure, knowing you. I know that this is how we create more uh relations with people. Now we've created relations with people like yourself, uh, so many other ones throughout the states, and that really helps us grow ourselves personally, and professionally. Is there anything that you would like to just say to everyone
Add
there?
anything that you want to
Say,
add.
hey, this is my last thing, and this is what I want you guys to hear from me. What would that be, man?
I would really just say, look at this as not a job, but as a career. Look at this as something that is going to be a future for you, a future for your family. Regardless if you're working for somebody or you have your own company, that doesn't matter. It's holding the standard. Be proud that you're a painter. Be proud that you're in this industry, because guess what? Not everyone can do our job. I guarantee that. I can put
That's
money on
true.
that all day because we've seen it
Oh yeah.
and we've
Oh
came and
yeah.
cleaned it up.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I
that's
say
true.
make up your business relations. I got business relations with Sherwin Williams and Cottonwood, Joe, Amanda, Brooke, Steven. They're all
Nice.
great people. Keep making your business relationships, because I'm in business with them. Believe it or not,
Yes,
even though
sir.
I
Yeah.
purchased from them, we're in business together. I'm in business with realtors. I'm in business with everybody you ever meet in your life, because everybody's a potential client. And I would say treat them that way. And you know what? You got other painters in your industry, in your local area. Be kind. Talk to them. It really throws them off when I'm so nice to them. And hey,
That
what do
is
you guys
true.
need? And if they call me up and they say they need a sprayer today, I'll get you a sprayer today to help you finish
Yeah.
your job. If it's not my job, be that person. Be that bigger person, and you will go far in this industry.
Be the resource. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
Paulie, I mean, this has been amazing, man. I know we're gonna follow up with this. I have a lot more things I want to talk to you about, but thank you so much for being with us, man. And we're gonna be at the PCA in less than about a week and a half,
Yep.
and we're gonna go and learn some more, have a couple cervezas, and keep this conversation, man. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
being with
Thank
us,
you.
man.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Juan. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you
Illusions
so
Painting.
much,
Thank you
Paulie,
guys
brother.
so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.